All right, so final thing, final part of this question, prepare a trading profit and loss account in as much detail as possible for the year ended 31 December 15. So I've already got the net loss figure here. It was the balancing amount in my balance sheet. Okay, so I've got the number I'm normally aiming for in my trading profit and loss account. So I'm going to start with that and work back and try and complete this profit and loss account in as much detail as I can. Okay, so I'm going to start just by kind of putting in like a skeleton trading account, and then try and put, I suppose, as much flesh on that as I can, as much detail as I can. So I've just put in the kind of trading account part, the sales less cost of sales, which is opening stock plus purchases less closing stock. I'll take cost of sales away from sales and get my gross profit. Okay, I don't have sales numbers and I don't have a purchase number in this question. Okay, so that's what I'm going to be working back to. Okay, so there's this piece of information here, gross profit is 50% of sales. So I'm going to work back from net loss to gross profit. I'm going to use this piece of information to get sales, and then purchases is going to be the final kind of missing piece of information that I will fill in. So I've stopped kind of doing this template trading account here, and just to look at the expenses, because I should be able to pick out from the question where the expenses are. So expenses in this one are cleaning, light and heat, insurance, salaries, and general expenses. So I've got cleaning, light and heat, insurance, and salaries and general expenses. So that's it for this question. Maybe if you're doing kind of an exam question, maybe leave a couple of spaces in case you forget something or miss something and kind of realize it later. But I know it's just 4 in this question. So I'm going to put the 4 of these in. I would add those up. That would give me an expenses number. I would subtract that expenses from my gross profit, and that would give me operating profit. And then I would take away interest. And then that would give me my net loss. My net loss in this question is 970. So again, I have worked that out. That's from my balance sheet. So what was my interest number? Well, interest for the year was 51,600, but remember some of that was drawings. So it was 43,860 attributable to the business that needs to go in the P&L. So 43,860 interest. Okay, so you're going to add that 43,860 back to your net loss to get your operating profit. So just be careful here because you're moving backwards for most of the question. So negative 970 plus 43,860 gives you 42,890, and that's your operating profit. My expenses then, so cleaning was 3,000 and I didn't need to adjust it. Light and heat after adjustments was 11,160. Insurance after adjustments was 5,790. So all these adjustments are done in the first video. Salaries and general expenses then after adjustments 106,10. Great. Alright, so if I add those numbers together then, so 106,10 plus 5,790 plus 111,60 2000. That is 120560. So there are your expenses. So add those back to the operating profit. So plus 42,890 gives you 163,450 gross profit. All right. So 163, take away expenses, there's your operating profit. Grand. So here's where this piece of information comes in. So Monaghan's gross profit is 50% of sales. So this gross profit figure is 50% of the sales figure. So just double it, okay, or divide it by 0.5, okay, divided by 50, multiplied by 100, get back to 100%, okay. So in this case, doubling, in other ones maybe not so simple, it might be 15% or 35% or something like that. So you're trying to get back to 100% for the sales figure. So your sales is going to be 163,450 divided by 50 multiplied by 100. In effect, doubling it. So 326,900 is your sales figure. Now you have sales and you have gross profit. So the difference between those is going to be your cost of goods sold. In this question, it's 163,450 because the gross profit was 50% of this. The cost of goods sold is going to be the same. But obviously that won't always be the case. So that's your cost of goods sold, 163,450. What numbers do I have here? Well, I've got the opening stock of 14,150. And I've got from the end of the question, the closing stock of 47,600. So 163,450 cost of goods sold, add your closing stock back, and you get 211,050. So your missing figure is purchases. So 211,050 take away 14,150 gives you 196,900 as your purchases number. Okay, so you work back to gross profit. The kind of percentage they give you gives you sales. Then you fill in your opening stock and your closing stock, and the purchases is the final missing figure that you're able to fill in. Okay, and that is your trading profit and loss account for the year. Okay, so it mightn't necessarily be as kind of accurate. It won't be as accurate as if you had have actually prepared proper books of account during the year using double entry bookkeeping principles. All right, but if you need a trading profit and loss account for something, this is as much detail as you're able to give, considering the lack of information you have. Okay, this kind of indicate what advice you'd have to Monaghan. This is a very typical kind of question on the end of one of these, so it'll be about preparing proper books of record in accordance with double entry principles. Just have a look at that, because it's a fairly typical question they'll ask after an incomplete records question. Is what advice would you give them? How would they make sure this doesn't happen again and they're keeping proper books of account? All right, so that's that one.